No New Year's Day to celebrate.
Hi.
Morning.
Yeah. How are
How's
you doing?
everyone?
Good.
Oh,
How are you?
I thought for them because my eyes are looking. Look, my eyes are looking really baggy, tired, and back there you go. Whoa.
No, you just look like a
Middle-aged
yeah.
But
rock
my
star.
friend said, "Oh, it doesn't matter. It's inappropriate." Anyway, so
What? Like anything we say isn't.
exactly. So what have we been up to?
I've been cooking fish, lots of fish. My house smells like a fishmonger's. No, it doesn't. But
Some great dishes though. So you guys got to do some fish dishes last week. I didn't yet, but we got more to come this week. We had some successes last week. Lots of people getting interested in some of the things we're doing with Porter Plate. Porter Plate are happy, and obviously for us, we get a little bit of fish out of it. And you get some great recipes. So how did we start the week, Tom? It was you, wasn't it?
yeah, I did a grey mullet dish, spicy grey mullet with paprika, chili oil, and coriander on a bed of baba ganoush.
Yeah, that was a whole one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which really tasty, lovely.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be the dish that it's not a grey mullet. It's not the prettiest of fish. If you really, I mean, fish aren't overly pretty anyway, but
Very tasty.
yeah, super good flavour.
Yeah, that's probably why it's less popular, but get in there because it's a good product. Yeah.
There's a lot of fish on there, a lot of meat on that fish, wasn't
Oh,
there?
it was unbelievable. I mean, I would have fed 4 or 5 people that dish that I made with some flatbreads or something on the side or side salad. So yeah.
Or two greedy people.
Yeah, I mean, I ate quite a bit of it.
Alex, you took delivery of something that was moving in a box, didn't you?
I had a delivery of a spider crab.
Hello.
It was very exciting as it walked across my kitchen. Yeah, so I ended up doing a spider crab curry. My gosh, I was amazed how much meat came out of that, both brown and white meat.
Yeah.
It was a labor of love to unpick it, but it was really interesting to do. I found the whole process fascinating.
Yeah.
I have kept the shells. I'm going to make something else with the shells as well in the next sort of few days. So
I mean, that's quite an interesting point as well, because I think sometimes why people are put off by spider crab is because they're told that there isn't a lot of meat in there. But I mean, what you got out of it was great, wasn't it? And it's such a pretty dish.
I thought the video was great because you showed exactly where you can get the brown meat from, and you took it out. And so, would you say the claws are more sweet, and the brown is more intensively, desperately or definitely crab tasting?
I think I've never been a huge fan of brown crab meat until quite recently. But actually, I thought the whole thing was quite sweet, surprisingly. Which is why it balances so well with things like lime and chili. So the white meat is really sweet. The brown meat wasn't as intensely strong. It definitely had a more crabby flavour, but that's why mixed into the sauce and the base of the curry sauce, it just lifts it. It gives you that slightly seafoody flavour, but not being overly fishy for people who don't like fish, or a bit sort of scared about trying too much fish.
Yeah,
it was a winner, real winner. I'd definitely make that.
Looked great. I was very jealous I couldn't eat any.
It's like Tom said that it's a shame that people always go lobster because crab I think is probably the most underrated, even though people who like crab love crab. It's probably really underrated when compared with a lobster.
No, I mean, I cooked lobster this week as well. I did a grilled Larry, and he was very delicious with a chili, garlicky, bacony butter. I mean, I love lobster, but pound for pound, price for price, you cannot go wrong with crab.
But Tom, that lobster looked amazing, and people who love lobster, they got to wait until they go to a restaurant unless they get somebody who can cook it for them and prep it. And even then, when you're warming it back up, are you really getting it exactly the way that you'd have it in a restaurant? No. So what you did is you showed people from start to finish. Again, you had a live lobster, and there will be some squeamish people who follow us and they can turn away, but I think the most important thing you did was show people how to dispatch of the lobster in a really humane way, even though there'll be people who will argue, well, how do you know he didn't feel a thing? But I thought that was great, the fact that you went in there and did it.
No, completely. And I think it's a really important thing to do. And obviously, I'm from the West Country. We eat a lot of game. We eat a lot of food like that. So that way of life is something that's quite important to me. And that, yeah, you should be able to deal with your own. Yeah, I'm not saying everyone can, but for me, I like the fact that it's fine for me to do that, and I don't have a problem with doing it. And yeah, you get the freshest meat then, because ultimately that lobster was landed for less than, I think, 36 hours. I think it was about 24 hours by the time I actually got around to cooking him. So you can't get any fresher than that. He's not been killed before then. Oh, it was great. It was so tasty, so tasty.
And it shows the utmost respect to a species that obviously is going to end up becoming a beautiful meal. And again, you did some lovely things with it, like Alex. And I think, you know, even though you think about lobster and butter and parsley, you know, it was the other things you did as well that offered that little bit of difference, a point of difference, the smoked bacon, the chili. And then Alex's dish again gives people a new, you know, even though I think you used hake, didn't you?
I used hake and prawn.
Yeah, so I mean, all of those, they're amazing. They go great together. But do people think like that? So now, when you're at the fishmongers, get a bit of hake, buy a crab, or buy some crab meat, because it's available, a bit of brown, a bit of white, and they could put it together quite quickly, couldn't they?
And also, the advantage of using the other items like the hake and the prawns is that they make the dish go further. So, you know, if you're feeding a lot of people, you can, you know, that could have fed 6 people easily with the ingredients I had.
Did you eat it all yourself though?
I kept some back actually, and I've got some to make something else with.
Did you slice it though before you ate it?
Yeah, no one else will be able to eat it. But yeah, it's relatively cheap fish, and therefore it goes really well with dishes, you know, like crab and scallops and lobster, and you know, because they're expensive, more expensive ingredients, but they actually go quite far.
Hake works so well with spice as well.
Yeah,
hake is just brilliant with spice. I mean, when I read that recipe that you did, Lexi, I was like salivated. You know, when you read a recipe, some recipes you read and you go, yeah, that's good, yeah. When I read that recipe and you saw all the balance of spices in there, I was like, oh, I need some of this.
Brings us on to next week. So I was lucky enough to, although you both went for the prime lobster and crab, I'm lucky enough to get beautiful line caught wild sea bass, and you know, I've eaten this already, and it's absolutely stunning. The fish, it's just, you know, that reminded me when I was in La Tubal in France, catching third wave off the shore, catching sea bass, bringing them in, and then literally gutting them, scaling them and cooking them that evening, and having something that fresh. It was just an amazing reminder of, you know, farmed sea bass is great and everything, but it was something else. It really was. But similarly, as you said, Tom, hake and sea bass, they just love bold, striking flavors. And I did the same thing. And in fact, Alex, without you and I talking, we pretty much did something very similar, although yours is more, where would you say the origins are?
Well, the flavor profiles are totally different, but
yeah. Whereas I've got Caribbean fusion with, you know, a few Indian techniques or Asian techniques, but more Caribbean, really, more jerk. Yeah. And the only other thing.
Takes one to know one.
Hey, watch it don't come over there and kick you in your scallops. Anyway, the scallops. I remember I got beaten up on Twitter when we were on MasterChef because I said scallops on TV. And the amount of people, scallops, can't even say the word properly. And of course, I didn't read any of that, but Lucy was taking umbrage to some of it. What do you know about this? Just leave it, girls. Especially what's going on to it. Anyway, what's the other thing? Can anybody remind me what else is on the menu?
Whelks.
Well, whelks. So what are whelks? Sea snails. Sea
I
snails.
love whelks. I love
do.
fruits de mer.
Yeah.
I've never had whelks. Never
Sit in
eaten them.
France, always have a fruits de mer. You get these funny little snail things that turn up, and some other like cockly things, and even smaller, like I don't even know what they're called, the smaller ones.
In France, do you have them in like a brown
Snails.
butter gravy, or did you have them in a garlic butter?
Nope.
How do
They just come on either seaweed or ice. You get fruits de mer, crabs, prawns, lobster, whelks, scallops, not scallops, oysters, and all they do is they serve it with bread and a really thick garlic aioli and loads of wedges of lemon.
Right, I'm getting
yeah.
you. It's like the what's the Italian version? Fruta de mare or something like that, isn't it? It's
With
just
the bear.
a bit of the
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there is a picture on my phone somewhere of me. They give you a bib normally because it's quite a messy procedure. And you sort of
Yeah.
get to sit and spend a couple of hours over a nice glass of white wine. And so, yeah, I love
I was
whelks.
thinking insulata de mare. That's what they call it in Italy. It's like the seafood salad. That's what it is. So what condiments they bring with it? Vinegar and
Yeah, you
also-
generally get the sort of shallot vinegar for your oysters, but mainly it is just the garlic aioli and then just really nicely cooked
Yeah.
shellfish.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm just going to show you something to do with whelks. And you know, they're not that popular, I don't think, but they should be because we're exporting tons of whelks to Southeast Asia and beyond. It's just, you know, it just
Crazy. Crazy. That's the same with that. That's why we've chosen the fish that we have chosen and the seafood we have chosen to work with, because it is seafood that's often exported and it's not used enough here, and yet it's ripe on our shores and readily available and would be much more economical and cheap to buy if we were buying more of it and using it.
and better for the environment. You know, we're all
Yeah.
banging on about you know, the carbon footprint and things like that. You know, if we stop all of this huge amounts of export, we don't want to stop the amounts of export because they'll kill the industry completely, probably. But yeah, you know, we're into buying sourcing locally, aren't we? So you know,
Yeah.
we can do that, and that is the UK for us because it ain't a big place. You know, if you want to go and buy your salmon from the Hebrides or your Langostine, what is it, 200 or
Yeah.
300 mile trip? Tom, you run that in the morning, don't you, Tom? With you, you're
Steve,
doing
I
that.
haven't been for a run for. That's a lie. Went for a run last month.
So what was that message I got for you about having the runs?
Completely different, mate.
Anyway, guys, so you've had a good week doing it?
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, really cool.
Great fun, and I'm glad we're continuing it this week as well.
Yeah, me too. Because I
Yep.
get to have a go. Because my produce turned up late.
Yeah, and mine's Ray's going to come up, I think, next week as well.
Oh yeah, you cook it right. I love
Yeah.
Ray. That happens to be my favorite
Oh,
seafood.
yeah, of course, Ray. I forgot about Ray.
Fine. Yeah, poor Ray.
Yeah, Ray.
Ray deserved it. He needed to be eaten.
Do you know there's a reason why the sea bass was late? By the way, the season for wild sea bass only just opened, so it literally, I think it was landed on a beach, not that far from here, and
Yeah, 'cause
traveled.
you're in Wales, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, nothing's far from here in Wales. Yeah, so it was either sea bass or lamb, wasn't it, Tom?
Sea bass and lamb. There you go. We don't. Was it surf and turf?
Yeah.
Wife and twife.
Surf and turf.
Right.
Hi,
Right. we've got
guys.
Cooking to do.
Yeah.
Sorry, Alex, I didn't catch that.
I said we've got lots of cooking to do.
We have, yeah. Right. Well, it's been a pleasure, and it's nice to see you guys. Hopefully soon, in real time.
Yeah. Won't be long.
Shh, shh, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more.
I haven't seen either of you, so you two have been having secret meetings. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.